I just missed it. I missed the
Formerly owned by Elvis Presley himself.
You now have the honor of witnessing a unique restoration project of a one-of-a-kind car, the BMW 507, once owned and driven by none other than the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. I bet Elvis never would have imagined that the old car he bought while in the army would become one of the most valuable cars of all time. Although this car isn't for sale, its estimated value, if it ever were, would start at $8 million and only go up from there. A specialized company spent 2 years restoring the car, and in August 2016, it was unveiled at a showcase in California. All the original body panels and other components were intact and in place, but the Roadster was missing its engine and transmission. The goal of the restoration was to return the car to the exact condition it was in on December 20th, 1958, when Elvis Presley took delivery of it. Finished in feather white, powered by an aluminum V8 engine producing 110 kilowatts, fitted with center lock wheels, a black and white interior, and a Becker Mexico radio. Traditional 1950s craftsmanship was combined with cutting-edge modern techniques. The dashboard was newly cast using an original template, and the leather upholstery was tanned to precisely match the patterns seen in period photographs and catalogs. After restoring the seat covers, it was revealed that the original steel seat frames could be reused with all rust carefully removed. The steel seat springs were then covered with coconut matting, a natural material that was used in the 1950s during the original BMW 507 production, along with padding and linen fabrics to ensure maximum comfort. The window cranks and door handles were recreated using modern 3D printing technology based on the original designs. In contrast, the rubber seal for the fuel tank lid was reproduced using traditional methods, since this part, like many others, had deteriorated over time. A small batch of these replacement parts was manufactured, meaning owners of BMW 507 Roadsters can now purchase this part from the BMW Group Classic store. Elvis's BMW 507 engine was completely rebuilt from spare parts. The 3.2-liter V8 was refurbished exactly to the original BMW 507 specifications, but due to the unusual combination of new and old parts used, the engine does not carry an official engine number. The mounting for the front auxiliary axle frame, which had been cut out of the car, was recreated with the original geometry and integrated back into the supporting structure. The wooden strip that holds the canvas roof in place was also remade using materials and manufacturing methods from the 1950s. The restoration project led by BMW Group Classic was a success. BMW experts and external specialists joined forces to set new standards in the restoration of the BMW 507. Only 254 BMW 507s were produced between 1955 and 1959, making it one of the most exclusive and sought-after rarities in BMW's history. Elvis's specific BMW 507 Roadster rolled off the production line on September 13, 1957, bearing the serial number 70079 and the license plate MJX 800. Elvis used his BMW 507 to travel between his home in Bad Nauheim and the U.S. Army base in Friedberg. His fans always kept a close eye on him, often surrounding the car. The Roadster's paint was frequently covered with love notes written in lipstick. The problem was solved with a fresh coat of red paint. The vehicle was completely disassembled, a process that, in this special case, took an entire week instead of the 1 or 2 days originally planned. The vehicle was completely dismantled down to the last bolt. Each part was documented, cleaned, evaluated, and either restored or replaced. The aluminum body panels, which had been altered and damaged over the years, were carefully removed and reshaped. The car was discovered in a warehouse in California by BMW Group Classic. It was in poor condition, stripped interior, missing engine parts, and painted red. BMW acquired the car and transported it to Munich, Germany, to begin the full restoration. Unlike some of his other cars, Elvis's BMW 507 didn't feature personalized elements like his initials or gold trim. After Elvis left Germany, the 507 changed hands several times, including being used as a race car in Alabama, and later stored in a California pumpkin warehouse for decades. Elvis Presley was stationed in Germany during his military service from 1958 to 1960. He leased the white BMW while in Frankfurt, using it regularly. You're now watching the disassembled car frame being moved to another section of the BMW factory, where restoration work will continue. BMW had to reverse engineer parts that were no longer in existence. Some components had to be 3D scanned and machined or sourced from collectors. When BMW Classic acquired the car in 2014, it was in poor shape. Severely rusted body, no engine or gearbox, missing or damaged interior, non-original parts from its racing days. The car had been painted red, not the original white. Every remaining component of the vehicle was meticulously removed and cataloged to ensure a thorough restoration process. The body was stripped down to its bare aluminum chassis, providing a clear view of the car's fundamental structure. Each part underwent a careful assessment to determine its originality and condition. Authenticity was further verified through original numbers and tags, helping to preserve the vehicle's historical integrity. The restoration team began by removing the red paint and layers of filler from the car's surface. To carefully strip the aluminum body panels without causing any damage, BMW employed a fine sandblasting technique. This process uncovered numerous dents, cracks, and areas of corrosion, particularly concentrated in the floor panels and wheel arches, highlighting the extent of the restoration work needed. Damaged aluminum panels were carefully reshaped, welded, or replaced by hand using traditional coach building techniques, preserving the car's authentic craftsmanship. To ensure every panel matched the original specifications, the restoration team relied on historic factory drawings and modern 3D scans for precise accuracy. Additionally, the original frame was meticulously restored and realigned. providing a solid foundation for the restored vehicle. Authenticity played a crucial role in the car's paintwork. The BMW 507 now proudly sports its original feather white color. The base coat, filler, and top coat were applied not according to today's standards, but using techniques from about 60 years ago. This approach results in a finish that isn't overly glossy. While high gloss may be desirable today, it's not appropriate for a classic car like this. The interior of the vehicle had been completely stripped down, presenting a blank canvas for restoration. Skilled craftsmen turned to archival photos from BMW to faithfully recreate the original black leather upholstery, dashboard, and instrument panel. The ivory-colored Bakelite steering wheel was also carefully reproduced. In cases where original parts were unavailable, custom components were expertly handcrafted to maintain the car's authenticity and period-correct appearance. You are now watching the polishing and sanding of the bodywork. The process is very similar to that used in mass production of regular cars, but in this case, there is a much greater focus on quality, and everything must be absolutely perfect. The restoration team uses a wide range of specialized hand tools. At the same time, in some cases, they also employed the most advanced machinery available at the time. That is, between 2014 and 2016. Although this was a unique project, BMW's dedicated restoration department regularly handles the refurbishment of various vehicles for its museums and similar purposes. These experienced technicians know exactly how to proceed to achieve the best possible results. This expertise is one of the reasons why this car holds such exceptional value. BMW treated the project like an archaeological restoration, not just a cosmetic rebuild. Every effort was made to preserve original materials where possible and match factory standards, even using original rivets and hand-sewn upholstery techniques. You are now watching the manual welding of certain body parts. This work cannot be done by any robot. It requires a human touch and a keen eye for detail. BMW Group Classic Division is BMW's official department dedicated to the preservation, restoration, and celebration of the brand's heritage. Restorations are done either for BMW's own museum for collectors or historic events. They maintain BMW's historical archives, including documents, blueprints, photographs, and even early prototypes. BMW Classic reproduces rare and discontinued parts for vintage models. Over 60,000 original spare parts are stocked or recreated, supporting owners of classic BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce vehicles, pre-2003 models. They curate and manage exhibits at the BMW Museum in Munich, showcasing milestones from BMW's history, organize temporary exhibitions, classic car tours, and events related to BMW heritage. BMW Group Classic is a relatively small, expert-driven unit inside the broader BMW organization. 150-person team is managing the classic car warehouse and restoration activities. Every restoration project begins with in-depth archival research to ensure historical accuracy. The team consults original build sheets, factory records, blueprints, technical drawings, and period photographs from the BMW archives. The goal is to fully understand how the car left the factory, down to the exact paint color, materials, mechanical specifications, and optional equipment, so the restoration can faithfully replicate the original vehicle in every detail. The restoration process begins with removing old paint, rust, and filler from the steel and aluminum body panels, using either chemical stripping or careful sandblasting. Once the bare metal is exposed, damaged panels are reshaped or entirely recreated by hand. This involves the use of traditional coach building tools such as English wheels, hammers, dollies, and classic welding techniques, depending on whether the material is aluminum or steel. The chassis is then restored and precisely realigned to match the original factory geometry, laying the foundation for an accurate and high-quality restoration. To shape the metal panels, the technicians use a traditional hammering technique, followed by carefully fastening everything together with screws. The entire restoration process took 2.5 years, partly due to the high workload at certain workstations. In other words, the car often had to wait its turn before work could continue, contributing to the extended timeline. Not all automotive manufacturers have such specialized restoration departments as BMW or, for example, Mercedes in Germany. You're now watching as the aluminum components are being attached to the main body frame, gradually forming the completed body shell. In 1958, Elvis Presley was drafted into the U.S. Army and sent to Friedberg, Germany. At that time, Elvis was already a global superstar, and even in military uniform, his charisma drew crowds everywhere. Wanting a stylish car while stationed in Europe, Elvis ended up leasing a BMW 507 from a Frankfurt-based BMW dealership. The car was originally used by Hans Stuck, a famous German racing driver, before Elvis took it over. Elvis's BMW 507 is more than just a rare automobile. It represents a unique intersection of automotive and cultural history. The car connects a music icon at a singular moment in his life, serving his country overseas, with a nearly forgotten vehicle brought back to life through expert restoration. It bridges two very different worlds, the vibrant energy of American rock and roll and the precision of German engineering. Today, the BMW 507 stands as a symbol of craftsmanship, celebrity, and the enduring power of a compelling story. Although the car was built in Germany and the entire restoration process took place within BMW's department there, it is now owned by an American and is driven on the roads in the United States. Please write in the comments section whether you would like to work as a classic car restorer. Elvis Presley's BMW 507, manufactured in 1957, is much rarer than most people realize. Only 252 were ever made. He drove it while stationed in Germany during his military service. Fans covered it with lipstick, so he famously had it painted red. BMW found the car decades later in poor shape and restored it over 2.5 years using original factory specs. The result? A perfect museum-quality car with a rock star past. While it hasn't been sold, its value is estimated around $8 to $10.5 million, placing it among the most historically valuable BMWs ever, though not near the top-selling Ferraris and racing legends. Years of use, including time spent on the racetrack, had taken a significant toll on the vehicle. The body showed warped and dented panels, while the floor pan and underbody suffered from extensive corrosion. Cracks and structural weaknesses were present at critical points throughout the frame. In addition, many original trim pieces and fittings were missing, highlighting the scale of restoration needed to return the car to its former glory. The team has finally completed the full body frame. After a thorough quality inspection, it is rolled out of the workshop and loaded onto a trailer. The frame will then be transported for final assembly with the chassis and engine. The entire restoration process took place over more than 2 years and involved multiple locations. Elvis's BMW was transported between various specialists, with each phase of the restoration bringing the car closer to its final, fully restored form. By the time BMW recovered the car in 2014, the original 3.2-liter V8 was long missing. It had been removed during the car's time in the US, where it was used as a race car and fitted with the Chevrolet V8, common in hot rodding at the time. BMW Classic sourced a correct 3.2-liter V8M 507/1 engine from their internal inventory and other sources. This engine wasn't the original one, but it was identical in specification to the one Elvis would have had. Interior components are meticulously rebuilt, using either original materials or accurate reproductions to preserve authenticity. Leather upholstery and stitching are matched precisely to factory specifications, while instrument clusters are carefully restored or entirely rebuilt. Wood and aluminum trim pieces are refinished or remade to original standards. To ensure historical accuracy in every detail, from stitching patterns to seat padding, BMW Classic collaborates closely with traditional coach builders and expert upholsterers. The car was meticulously reassembled, with each part carefully cleaned, tested, and refitted to ensure flawless operation. Following reassembly, BMW conducted dynamic testing, taking the vehicle on multiple test drives to evaluate its roadworthiness, handling, and safety. During this phase, adjustments were made to engine tuning, suspension alignment, and braking balance to guarantee optimal performance and driving experience. The restoration took over 2 years, involving disassembly, sandblasting, custom part fabrication, and hand restoring everything from the drivetrain to the upholstery. A later owner raced it in the US with a Chevy V8 swapped in, unknowingly thrashing a former car of the King. The fully restored Elvis 507 debuted at the 2016 Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, one of the most prestigious car events in the world.
formerly owned by Elvis Presley himself.